Welcome everyone. I'm Rhonda Uretsky, owner of Riverflow Yoga here in Lambertville, New Jersey, and right here coming to you virtually from my home studio, sharing my midday practice with you called Blissful Warrior Yoga. Now, Riverflow Yoga specializes in hot yoga. That's what we've been doing for the past more than 10 years, specializing in hot yoga. But for the last 45 years of my life, I've been engaged in practices like yoga and meditation and mindfulness and just some spiritual grounding practices that I find are coming in extremely handy now in these chaotic times. And let's face it, it's always been chaotic times in some way or another, but perhaps if you're coming to me live today, then your life feels even more chaotic than usual. And it's not unusual for that to be the case. I think that for many people who have tried to go about business as usual and to pretend that they can just continue at the same pace and continue with the same routines are maybe beginning to feel a little exhausted now. And maybe it's long overdue. There is no business as usual anymore. Every day, almost every breath that we take is one moment at a time. And so this practice, the Blissful Warrior, is about just that. One day at a time, one moment at a time. Now, I know there are lots and lots of online classes that you can take, and I think they're all wonderful. I think whatever is out there that resonates and speaks to you and seems to give you a sense of peace and grounding, you should absolutely do it. And yet there is something about having consistency and accountability. So this particular class, this Blissful Warrior Yoga, is something that I do myself every day for that reason, to have accountability. I was just outside in a coffee shop, outside the coffee shop having coffee and thinking, it would be nice to just linger here for the rest of the afternoon. And there's nothing wrong with that if you have the time and the inclination. But there is something about accountability, something about knowing that I made a commitment to this practice for myself every day at this time and for anybody for whom this practice resonates. So you will find me here for the foreseeable future every day. The time is going to move a little bit. It used to be 12:30. I think we're going to move more towards 1 o'clock now by popular request. And so here we are today at 12:50, sort of inching up to that 1 o'clock time. And here we are in this Blissful Warrior practice. It is the perfect time of the day for this practice. Personally, I like to wake up in the morning fresh, first thing, before my thoughts get moving, before my day gets active, and take 15 minutes to meditate, if you have a meditation practice. And that can be anything from putting on some music and focusing on a candle to closing your eyes and taking deep breaths. The second best time I find is this one right here, the middle of the day. So you've already gone through your morning, and maybe there have been some agitating moments in your morning. I can't imagine anybody who hasn't had any agitation in the first half of their day. I certainly can attest to it for myself. I was on Facebook way more than I committed to be. I engaged in some conversations that I promised myself I wouldn't. You know how that goes. I did check in on the news, although I have a new habit I've developed of limiting myself to checking in on the news for a maximum of 15 minutes, and then I'm done, and I did keep to that, but even that was enough to get me triggered. And so this middle of the day moment, when that part of my day is over, and there is this whole other part of the day that lies ahead, whether you are at work, or at home, or homeschooling your children, or whatever it is that the rest of your day seems to hold for you, this is the time when you can be deliberate about finding your feet again, finding your grounding. Many people, I know I've said it too, I have stopped saying it though, but I have said also, and I'm sure you have, I'm having a bad day. And sometimes you make that decision right there in the morning when something triggers you. And it really is just one incident, and yet it somehow gets extrapolated out into the rest of your day. But it doesn't have to. If you are committed to being a blissful warrior, then you are going to be a warrior about finding your ground for bliss in every moment, especially in those moments when you notice that you're off balance. And my friends, it's easier than you might imagine. It's just a habit that you're going to develop now. It's a practice. In yoga, we've always called this a practice, and we mean it, and It is now coming to light for many of our students why we call it a practice. And that's because you don't do this to perfect a pose or to get everything just right. You practice and you practice and you practice so that when the time comes in your life when you need this grounding, then your practice kicks in and it's there to support you. Now, don't feel badly if you don't have a practice. You can start developing a practice anytime. If you are new to yoga, welcome. If you are new to meditation, wonderful. You're going to find some real instant soothing in this Blissful Warrior yoga practice. I have created it in a way to be easy. And we do come from a culture where we believe that hard work is better. Struggle gives you all the rewards. And basically, killing yourself and working hard makes you a hero. I don't believe that. And Blissful Warrior is not about working hard. It's about soothing yourself. And in this place of soothing, you find your grounding again. You find your feet. You find that foundation of still, calm intelligence that you can move forward from in a way that your life not only unfolds in a way that feels satisfying to you, but you begin to feel satisfied with the life you're living. So let's begin. Begin by drinking water. That is our first step for soothing. If you don't have any water beside you, now is the time to go and get some. It's one of these very easy, very accessible things that we don't really avail ourselves enough of in enough quantity to really feel how different your life can feel when you're well hydrated. Simple, right? So go grab some water. Let's take a few sips. At this point in my practice, I'm very accustomed to drinking half my body weight in ounces of water every day. So when I start sipping water, I can probably go through this whole bottle. Without it being an effort or a struggle, it becomes a real pleasure. Not that you should do that. Remember, you're learning, you're practicing. So take some sips. See where you want to stop. Somehow taking the time to drink this water and the drinking of the water seems to separate this portion of your day, this part you're going to do right now, this soothing, blissful warrior practice, from whatever came before, from any thoughts of what's coming next. Just seems to be this beautiful little demarcation moment, sipping water. And it is so good for your physical body, and you do find it to be soothing in some ways, and this is how it calms your nervous system. So let's arrive in practice by finding a comfortable posture for your body. If you'd like to sit on the floor, grab a cushion, place that cushion under you, sit to the front edge of that cushion, and allow your hips to tilt downward. Let's see if I can actually give you a view of this, a long view. So here's sitting on the floor without a cushion. Feels a little strained in the hips. And then if you slide this cushion under you, can you notice the difference here? My hips have suddenly tilted down. I can feel my knees sort of being pulled downward. There's a real sense of relief. And this is what you are looking for. In everything that we do in this practice, what you are feeling for is the sense of relief. Sometimes it's been a long time since you felt that sigh of relief. So look for a feeling that actually makes you feel like sighing with relief. Know the difference between feeling relief and feeling clenched. And when you feel that relief, you're going in the right direction for this practice. Find a comfortable place for your hands if you're sitting on the ground, palms up or palms down, in your lap, on your knees. If you'd rather not sit on the floor, don't force yourself. Go ahead and sit in a chair. If you have a chair with a back, maybe you'd like to lean back against that. Get that support. If you'd like to try sitting on the far front edge of the chair, place both feet on the ground. You'll get this instant calming feeling. When your feet are flat on the ground, your nervous system has a chance to settle, to physically settle. So that's a really good tip. If you have to sit in a chair in front of a Zoom meeting, place your feet on the ground and you'll begin to instantly feel grounded. Maybe you'd rather lie down as you arrive in this practice, so I invite you to do that. Lie on your back, arms at your sides. Let your arms come far away from your body with your palms facing up. Let your heels touch as your legs are out in front of you and your toes flop apart. And for any arrival position, we're going to keep our eyes open. So I'd like to practice staying present. If you're sitting in a chair or sitting on the floor, look at something directly in front of you. Tip your chin down a little bit. Feel as if someone's placed 2 fingers on your chin and they're going to place your head back on top of your neck, because the old habit is to have your chin thrust forward. And we all have this habit, but if you take that moment to have that feeling of your head getting placed on top of your neck, you're doing something really lovely for your posture, for your spine, for your nervous system. If you're lying on your back, instead of looking at the ceiling, look down the midline of your body. You might not see the midline of your body, but let your eyes, your gaze shift downward, and you'll get that same sensation of elongating a little bit in the back of your neck. It's such a relief. I'd like to convince you that soothing is what you're looking for. Soothing yourself and feeling this relief is the only empowerment you will ever need to be able to move forward in a way in your life that feels good, that feels empowered. We really are used to equating being empowered with working hard and struggling and making an effort and forcing and pushing and resisting. And maybe that has a place in your life and maybe it doesn't. But in this practice, we're going to experiment with soothing and seeing if that is the way to empowerment, if that is the way to having a stress-free, healthy, invigorated life. I can tell you from my years of practice that it does, but I want you to try it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Come here to this practice every day, in the middle of your day. Take this moment to soothe and see how the rest of the day unfolds from here. Okay, so we are here. You're here. We've arrived, settled, and now let's breathe. It seems sort of obvious you're breathing at all times, but we're going to deliberately breathe. In through the nose and out through the nose. Hearing it in the back of your throat, a big loud ha sound coming in. Hearing it in a loud ha sound in the back of your throat coming out. I will guide you. There's no way to do this wrong, my friends. Don't get worried or nervous or intimidated about doing it the right way. You're here to practice. You're trying this on, seeing how it feels for you, and I will guide you through. Okay, let's begin. Inhale. As you make that loud ha sound in the back of your throat, pull your collarbones wide apart. Feel your ribs widen, your rib cage, balloon your belly out. Holding here. And exhale. Again, the loud ha sound in your throat. Collarbones stay wide. Your rib cage feels like it's moving towards the center line of your body. Deflate your belly. Drop your tailbone down and then tuck it slightly up towards your navel. Now, especially if you're sitting, when you do that little tuck of the tailbone, you feel your chest open. Something feels uplifted. If you do this while you're lying down, your lower back eases. Nice moments. Inhale. Keep pulling your collarbones wide. If you have an old habit of thrusting your chest forward, pulling your collarbones wide will balance that for you. Sort of put you in a nice neutral but open position. Balloon your belly and exhale. Ha sound in the back of your throat. Rib cage deflates. Deflate your belly, drop your tailbone and tuck it up a little towards your navel. Stay empty for a moment. Can you feel the relief in just staying still? Inhale. Collarbones wide. Chin is a little dropped. Your head's still back on top of your neck, a little backwards. Ribs come wide apart. Balloon your belly out. Feel your whole self inflating. Exhale. rib cage collapse a little bit. Belly deflates, tailbone drops down, and tuck it up just a little towards your navel. And 3 more, slowing it down. Inhale. Holding here, filling the fullness in your rib cage and your belly. Exhale. Check on your hands and fingers. Hands are relaxed, fingers curled naturally. Inhale. Keep your eyes softly focused, looking at that object out of the tops of your eyes more so than the centers, feeling the little drop of your chin and the tucking up of your tailbone. Inhale. Holding here, pulling your collarbones wider as if your collarbones are one long straight line. Exhale. Taking a moment to check in on how you feel. If there was an adjective you could use to describe the way you feel right now, what might that be? For me, it feels, maybe not an adjective, but it feels like stillness. It feels like things have quieted, settled, calmed. It feels like a nice place to be. It feels like I belong here. Okay, blissful warriors, so we have done grounding and breathing, and now let's go into moving. Movement is medicine, and especially in the ways that we are going to do these yoga poses, this movement is about soothing your nervous system. It will tone your body. It will give you more mobility and flexibility, more vitality and energy, but in this moment, in this blissful warrior practice, we are feeling every moment for its soothing benefits. And I promise you that all of those other things will be wonderful side effects that you get from soothing yourself in this practice. So if you are sitting on a chair, easy to come to standing. If you're lying on the ground, roll over onto your right side. With your hands, press yourself up into a sitting position. And if you're sitting on a cushion, let's remove that cushion right now. Come to a standing position, and I'm going to show you a really interesting, fun, aligning way to get yourself up into standing position. First, come onto all fours. Fingertips are on the ground. Wrists are 6 inches apart. Fingertips are in front of your knees, and your knees are about hip width distance apart as well. Inhale, lock your arms, and as you exhale, drop your head between your shoulders. Push back on your fingertips. Feel your arms lock. Really let your head hang. Feel as if your chin is tucking into that little hollow space between your collarbones. And then as you inhale, come forward on your knees and curl your toes, hanging your head. And as you exhale, press into your fingertips and bring yourself up onto the soles of your feet. Maybe your heels come, maybe they don't. Maybe your legs straighten, maybe they don't. But keep your arms locked and let your head hang. And then slowly begin to move your fingertips back to your toes. your chin tucked between your collarbones. And then slowly, feeling your fingers disconnect first, coming up and stacking every bone of your vertebrae. Here you're really pretending that instead of having a spine made of bones, you have a slinky. And you are placing one coil on top of the other. Hanging your arms, hanging your head, keeping your stomach sucked in. Very deliberately placing every coil of that slinky. As your arms come up, rotate your palms forward. Bring your head on top of your neck. And here you are in mountain pose. Stand right here. And I'm going to just adjust the view a little bit. You get to stand and breathe as I do this. Breathing in and out through your nose and hearing it in the back of your throat. So feet are 6 inches hip width distance. Palms are forward, collarbones wide, dropping your chin, bringing your head back a little onto your neck without leaning back. It's just your head that moves onto your neck. And here you are in mountain pose, feeling strong and steady. As you inhale, collarbones wide, tighten your thigh muscles, lift them up. Rotate your knees inward, keep those collarbones wide, and then exhale. Loud ha sound in your throat, dropping your tailbone down to the ground and tucking it up a little towards your navel without bending your knees. Inhale. Collarbones wide, feel your ribs expand. Rotating your palms forward, keeping your thighs locked, and exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And let's combine deeper breathing with movement in a pose called standing deep breathing. Now toes and heels together. Focus your eyes on something in front of you, looking out of the tops of your eyes more so than the centers. Drop your tailbone, bend your elbow tips, clasp your fingers. Slide your knuckles under your chin. Try not to thrust your chin forward. Keep your elbow tips down. Feel how stable you feel right here. Press the inner edges of your ankle bones together and feel your thighs locking you into this beautiful stability. We'll begin. Inhale through your nose. Elbows up. Shoulders down. Keep inhaling, stomach in. Inhale, thigh muscles tight and lifted, tailbone dropping down. Exhale, open your mouth wide now. Make a big ha sound through your mouth. Push your head back. Looking at the ceiling as your wrists, forearms, and elbows create a bellows in front of you. Squeeze your elbow tips together and pull your shoulders forward. Inhale. Elbows apart and up. Bring your chin down. Bring your elbow tips behind your ears. Stomach in, thigh muscles tight and lifted, kneecaps turned in, tailbone dropping down and under. Exhale. Big ha sound through your open mouth. Push your head back, bringing together your wrists, your forearms, and your elbows. As they squeeze together tight, your elbows are off your chest. Inhale. Elbows apart and up. Feel like your elbow tips are going through the ceiling as your shoulders stay down. Chin down, stomach in, thigh muscles tight and lifted, kneecaps turned in, tailbone dropping down, tucking under a little. Exhale. Head back, mouth open, eyes open. Big, beautiful ha sound. Wrists, forearms, elbows squeezing together tight. Can you feel this sigh of relief? Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Stay here for a moment with your mouth open, your breath is empty. Feel the relief of this. And then release. And dropping your arms down and back to mountain pose. Feet are hip width, palms forward, arms hanging limp at your sides. Dropping your chin, softening your gaze, looking out of the tops of your eyes, and take a breath. Inhale. Exhale. Now for all my blissful warriors who are sitting a lot, we're going to do some poses that are very soothing for the hips. But as we do these poses, as you engage in this blissful warrior practice, I'd like you to not think of yourself as a collection of body parts. Certain poses that we do, you'll feel the relief in areas of your body more so than others. But you are in this practice soothing your entire body, calming your entire nervous system, and in this way you are invigorating and toning your body and getting it ready to be the vehicle for an enjoyable life. So let's do a pose called Danda Yamana Paktapata Paschimottanasana, standing separate leg stretch. So I'm going to start a little to the left here because we're going to take a large step to the right. So inhale, pull your fingertips down to the ground, lock your arms. Continuing the inhale, bring your arms overhead, hands in prayer. And right here, for a moment, with your thumbs crossed and your palms pressed, pull your fingertips to the ceiling, lift up out of your waist, squeeze your head with your biceps, lock your thighs, and ground your heels. So feel your natural human traction. And as you exhale, take a wide step to the right and bring your arms out to the sides in this beautiful T position. And really pull from the ends of your fingertips. And notice how your triceps begin to tighten. Pigeon toe in, unless you have sciatica, then just keep your toes pointing straight ahead. And as you inhale, drop your chin, pull your collarbones wide, and as you exhale, swan dive forward, lead with your chest, not with your chin. Sort of let your eyes travel down the wall in front of you, leading with your chest. And whenever your knees buckle, you're going to be a rag doll. I'm going to do a shaking technique, an old Chi medicine technique. Shake your hands at the wrists. Shake your arms, bending your elbows, feeling your shoulders shake. You'll feel your head start to shake a little bit. Make your hips rock from side to side as you shake your arms more. Maybe you can increase the vigor of this shake, letting your hips make sort of a figure 8. And shake, shake, and shake, and then stop. And just feel the sensation in your arms. As you look down at your mat or your floor, reach around the outsides of your feet and tuck all 10 fingers under your heels from the sides. See if you can get your heels in your palms. As you inhale, pull your elbows to your shins, even if you have to bend your knees to do it. And as you exhale, begin to tighten your thighs and straighten your legs and point your tailbone to the ceiling as you lead your forehead and breastbone to the ground between your feet. Inhale, elbows to shins. Exhale, pull a little and lead your breastbone down. If you find yourself tightening in the backs of your knees, just exhale your breath and give yourself an instruction to relax that part of your body. And notice your forehead edging ever closer towards the mat. Inhale. And exhale. Pulling, leading, tailbone up, forehead down. and then release the pose. Bring your arms out to the sides and pull from the fingertips. Leading with your breastbone, you can feel that slinky in your spine stack itself, one coil on top of the other. Nice and stable. Arms overhead. Press your palms in prayer. Bring your legs together with one push to the left and release and breathe. When you release, your arms will bounce a little bit. Go ahead and let them. Don't stop them. Let them stop on their own. This is your nervous system settling itself. You can feel it right now after this pose. Inhale. Collarbones wide. Exhale. Trikonasana, triangle pose. So bring your arms in close now and pull the fingers to the ground. Lock your arms and inhaling. Lift your arms up overhead, hands in prayer. And again, take a moment here to press your palms. Squeeze your biceps against your ears. Pull up from your fingertips. Lift up from your waist. Lock your thighs and ground with your heels so you can feel how solid you are. And as you exhale again, a nice wide step out to the right with your arms out in the T position. Have a soft landing on that right foot. And pull from the ends of all 10 fingers. You get this really nice, strong feeling in your chest, in your arms, in your shoulders. Now bring your chest and belly forward a little bit and lean your upper body back a little bit and pinch your shoulder blades together. Now pivot on your heels. Right toes face forward, left toes turn in 45 degrees. Bring your left hip in and down as you bend your right knee. Sitting down nice and deep until your right thigh muscle is parallel. Rotate your palms to the front, and as you exhale your breath, move only your arms. Right elbow aiming in front of the right knee and the left fingertips up at 12 o'clock. Pulling your arm towards your head, drop your chin, looking at your shoulder, and then with your eyes you're looking at your fingertips, but keep your chin down and pull with both hands from the ends of all 10 fingers up and down. Rotate your left rib cage a little bit behind you and pull again. Feel this beautiful opening and then change. Arms out in a T position. And once again, chest and belly forward. Lean back and pinch your shoulders and pivoting your feet the opposite way. Left toes face one side, right toes come in 45 degrees, as does your right hip. Arms are still out in a straight line. Bend the left knee and sit. Flip your palms forward, pull from the ends of your fingers, and then as you exhale your breath, move one thing only, your arms, but it's like one long arm, like a windmill. Left elbow aiming in front of the left knee, right fingertips up at 12 o'clock. Drop your chin, bring your arm in close to your head. It's feeling like you have one long continuous arm as you pull up and pull down. Rotate your right rib cage a little behind you and pull again. Lift, reach, stretch, and change. Arms out in the T. Arms overhead, hands in prayer. One push, legs together, and drop, and breathe. Inhale, and exhale. Pull the collarbones wide. Now as you stand and breathe, I have a little camera adjustment. Keep breathing. These camera adjustments give you more opportunity to breathe nice and deep, to practice those deep breaths. Yes, we're all breathing at all times, but making those breaths really deliberately deep will be such a wonderful thing for you to feel. All right, one more beautiful hip opener. Danda Yamana Paktapata. Janu Shavasana. Standing separate leg, forehead to knee. Inhale, arms overhead, hands in prayer. Pull up from the fingers, lengthen in the waist, down in the heels. And as you exhale, step to the right about 3 feet. See this beautiful pyramid shape you're making with your body. Feel the stability of it. And then pivot and face your front wall. And twist and square your hips so they feel like they're facing square to the wall in front of you. And lift, stretch, lengthen in your spine and your waist. And as you exhale, dive down. Tuck your chin, curl your middle back, rounding your back up, curling inward as you dive down, forehead to knee. If you want to separate your fingers on the ground for balance, go ahead. If you need to bend your knee to get the forehead to the knee, the front knee, go ahead. Breathing here. And then coming up, head locked between your arms. You're uncurling, remembering that slinky spine, one coil on top of the other, head up last. Pivot to the front and pivot to the opposite side. Squaring your hips again, stretching and lifting. Exhale, curl and dive. Tuck your chin, forehead to knee. Separate the fingertips, bend the knee up. Do what you need to get the forehead to the knee. You might have heard of the benefits of inversion poses, like headstand and shoulder stand. This is an inversion pose as well, giving you all those same benefits, but no danger to the neck. In fact, there's a great relaxation of the neck here as you tuck your chin and bring your forehead to your knee. And then change coming up. Hands in prayer, head locked between your arms, stacking the coils of your slinky. And then pivot, and legs together, and let yourself drop. Take a breath. Inhale. Really feel the soothing right now. The lightness in your limbs, the strength in your legs. Exhale. And one more beautiful balancing pose. Tree pose. Lock the left thigh and bend the right leg at the knee. Slide your hand down your shin, right hand on top of your right foot. Bring your left hand behind and underneath your right foot. And let this knee drop and raise this heel into the hip crease. Unless this is painful in the knee, then you can just place the sole of the foot on the inside of the thigh. Hold the foot in place. Bring your right hand in half prayer and breathe. Inhale. Collarbones wide and exhale. Tailbone down and release. Right leg down, locking up this right leg, making a real strong support as you bend the left leg up. Slide your hand down your shin to the top of your foot. Grab that foot from behind and underneath, and then drop the knee and raise the heel into the hip crease or place the foot on the inner thigh. Holding with one hand, left hand in half prayer. Inhale. And exhale. You are still hearing that breath big and loud in the back of your throat. And then release, bringing the left leg down for mountain pose. Feet are hip width. Arms at your sides. Pull your collarbones wide apart and notice that your arms come to rest pretty far from your body when they relax. Palms forward. Chin a little dropped. Collarbones wide. Inhale. And exhale. And now back down to the floor. Turn your palms to the wall. Drop your chin to your throat. And slowly begin to let your arms hang forward. And now you're uncoiling that slinky in your spine, pulling the coils apart one at a time, hanging your head, tucking your chin, coming down slowly, slowly, deliberately, feeling the relief in every stretch. When your fingertips touch the ground, place your fingertips. Lock your arms a little far from your body. Hang your head between your shoulders. Bend your knees. Place your knees on the ground between your hands. Uncurl your toes, sitting back on the tops of your feet on your heels. Palms in your lap. Take a breath here. If sitting hips to heels is in any way painful, please sit cross-legged. There's no better or worse way. There's only the most soothing way for you today. That's what you're exploring. You're here to find that soothing, that calming of your nervous system that will be healing to your body in every way that you want. Inhale and exhale. Now place your fingertips on the ground beside you and slide your legs out in front of you. So your legs are out in front. Flex your heels forward. Flex the toes towards your face. Place your palms on your shins. Lock your elbows. Pull your collarbones wide. Rotate your knees in. Drop your chin. And inhale. Pull your collarbones wide. And as you exhale, lean back into your hips. Slide your palms over your knees. Keep your arms locked as you slide your palms over your calves. And you are lowering yourself to the ground one vertebra at a time, keeping your heels flexed forward. Easing yourself all the way down into our final Shavasana Pose. Arms at your sides. Palms facing up. Heels touch. Toes flopped apart. Looking down the middle of your body, your collarbones are wide. And take a breath. Inhale, balloon your belly out. And exhale. As you deflate, feel your ribs come together. Feel your belly drop down. Let your lower back drop as if someone has slipped their hand under the small of your back and you are easing into it. Now you stay here lying down. I come up into sitting to talk you through the final moments of this blissful warrior practice. So lying on your back, arms at your sides, palms facing up, heels lightly touching, toes flopped apart, collarbones wide. Close your eyes now for a moment and take a breath. Inhale. Hear it in the back of your throat. Pull your collarbones wide. Feel your ribs expand, your belly balloon out. And then exhale again, hearing it in the back of your throat, that ha sound. Collarbones still wide. Your shoulder blades are on the mat. Your ribs start to come together. Your belly deflates. And you can feel that hand under the small of your back that you are now settling into, letting it hold you. And inhale. Taking a moment to check in on yourself. On a scale of 1 to 10 right now, 1 being very calm and soothed, and 10 very agitated, where do you find yourself right now? What number comes to mind that best describes how you feel? And can you imagine going out into the rest of your day, presenting this person to the world? To your colleagues, to your family, to your friends and neighbors, to any interactions you might have on Facebook for the rest of the afternoon. This is the person that you want to be, and it's the person that you are when your nervous system is calm, when you're not triggered or agitated, when you can move forward, making decisions about how to act and react that are truly of your own choosing. You'll be triggered. Of course you will. We all will. You'll see something or hear something and you'll have that knee-jerk response. But when you come from this place and you know that it's your knee-jerk response, you also know that you have a choice. The choice to sip some water, take some deep breaths, and then choose how you are going to react to any situation. And that, my friends, is true freedom. Despite conditions outside of you, despite what's happening around you, you hold this freedom within yourself at all times. And practicing it every day allows you to tap into it when you need it most, which is every day. So thank you for joining me in this Blissful Warrior practice. I named it Blissful Warrior because I do want you to be a warrior, which means I want you to be adamant, but about one thing only, about your ability to choose and to have the freedom to choose to feel blissful, to feel calm and centered and grounded under all conditions. And that is the definition of a blissful warrior, and that's what we are practicing here. And you will notice that your body becomes more flexible and more mobile, especially as it is soothed and calmed. You begin to feel like yourself in many, many ways from this practice, physically, emotionally, and in every other way that serves you in your life. Thank you again for joining me. I'm Rhonda Uretsky from River Flow Yoga. Go out and have a blissful day. Feel sane, feel safe, feel certain in your ability to choose your actions and your reactions for the rest of the day. And I will see you again soon.